I want to look in your eyes when I say this to you.
Wow. Wow. Sorry, it's all sinking in, and I'm like, oh.
But like, how betrayed would you feel? You're through to 1-800-DRAMA,
The show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
and we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie.
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
Because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama? I want to look in your eyes when I say this to you. Red flag, green flag, Shaaba.
Hit me, though. I'm slightly nervous after that introduction.
Family vloggers. People who put their kids online a lot. People who earn money for their kids being online.
All right, we need to preface this with the fact that we have just watched a documentary on
a particular UK
family
vlogging family.
Actually, we watched two, because the other one that we watched was about the
An
really
American,
situation,
yeah.
which was like a limited series. Hit it up, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
The Devlin family. Very interesting. A red flag.
Yeah.
That's biggest red flag.
Yeah. I'm
Biggest
actually
red flag.
I'm so anti family vloggers. I don't mind people sharing about being a parent and little snippets, but I do not agree with family vloggers where the kids are the focal point of the content.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that, because I had a little niggle and I was like, oh, why don't I fully agree with this? I don't have any issue with somebody sharing their life online, obviously. It's also important to note that my journey online and a large part of our collective journey was weekly vlogging.
Yes, I hear you. If people do that and they happen to be parents and their kids appear,
if your kids are in your life, that's fine, but that's very different to making the kids make the content.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, like, say we were still vlogging, I feel like sitting here now,
we don't vlog anymore,
before having kids, I would say I don't want to. And I personally don't agree with large platforms who very publicly post like their kids' faces and what their kids have been doing in a day, and like showing them like eating and just doing various different things that kids should just be able to get on with.
It's about informed consent, isn't
Exactly.
it? And it's also, for me, a large part about feeling a little bit scared because we don't know how technology is being used. When you're putting things on a public platform, it's no longer just yours.
Yeah.
And it took a while to learn that. Nobody knows how to be a creator. This is something we both accidentally fell into, and actually was a large reason to why we no longer regularly vlog. I'll still do a travel vlog, and I assume when we have kids, I would still love to do those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Before there was the internet and the ability to put it online, I was still like making little home videos.
Yeah.
That joy of documenting
And seeing them
back on
grow
something
up
special
and stuff. Yeah.
is incredible. And I love sharing parts of our lives with our gorgeous little online community, but I've also realised there's a huge negative side to that, and I can make the decision to subject myself to that.
Yes.
A kid cannot.
Yeah, I'm on board with you. I think I amber flag, sometimes red flag, people who have kids who happen to appear in their content because they daily vlog and stuff like that. I'm still not totally on board with it, but I don't think it's as bad as the channels that are completely built around their children and posting what their children are doing in a day.
Interesting. I so agree with your last point. I don't feel like I have a say on that first bit yet. Being a creator who happens to have children, we've spoken about this so much, just the two of us, and I still don't know what the right thing to do is in terms of, navigating those spots of how much you do end up sharing. And I'm seeing the people who have gone before us, which sounds like a really like sort of daic phrase, but I mean, like the people who we know in our lives who already have kids, and how their stances on it has changed based on what's, one, realistic, but two, again, with the advances of technology, things like our voices are literally being used by AI machines right now. Machines, how old do I sound? By AI models right now. So who knows what the capabilities are going to be, and the law has not yet caught up, and really needs to, in terms of protecting everyone, but specifically kids who don't agree to being online.
I think that's just my number one thing.
But family vlogging, big no.
I just don't know why you'd want to do that.
Vlogging, great. I love to see it. I love it so much. Family vlogging,
no.
family filming for you, great.
Family vlogging, no.
Do you think maybe we red flag family vlogging?
I think we maybe do.
All right, away from red flag, green flag, Jamie, how are we doing?
I think we're doing good.
We're at the end of March.
That is unbelievable.
It has gone so fast.
I'm shook.
I have heard, my aunt used to say this to me, Shaaba, when you're older, the older you get, the more life you've had, and so each year feels like a smaller segment.
It is a smaller percentage of your life.
And so it goes by a lot quicker because you've lived more life. It, like, just as a fraction, like a pie slice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And that's a terrifying thought, because life is already feeling now, as a 30-year-old, really fast. So how's it going to feel when we're like 60?
Well, don't think about that. Just don't think about it.
There are things to embrace. I'm not scared of getting old. I'm just scared of not enjoying moments. So every time I'm like, oh my gosh, the cat was on the bed this morning having a cuddle. I must absorb this moment.
You are very that.
I am very that.
You are very that. One shout out for today when this pod is going up is it's Trans Day of Visibility.
Whee! Happy Trans Day of Visibility.
TDOV. You can see me today, can't you?
Oh my god, that's what you look like.
I know.
Happy Trans Day of Visibility, friends.
Thank you. Where's my cake?
This is a more important conversation now than I think ever before that I've experienced in my lifetime.
Yeah. Give me cake and equal rights.
I see you. And I'm working on both of those things. I'm doing my part as an ally on both of those things.
You're an alright ally.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. What are you doing?
Being trans. Being visible. Away from my mighty achievement of being trans and being visible.
What a wonderful existence.
I know.
That sounded satirical, but I didn't mean it. It just sounds morbid because the world is kind of shit right now. But you do have a wonderful existence. I love you so much. We laugh or else we cry.
Thank you. What news do you have to share today?
Oh, my song stuff.
Yeah.
Yay! Song things are happening.
Song things.
Go check out Weird. Go
Totally.
stream the song. I love it. I'm in love with it. And I also have a new song coming out in not too long at all. On the day that you're watching this video, my new song comes out on the 4th of April. It's called Ouija. Sounds a little bit like this.
I don't wanna talk about. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I can sleep at night. If you feel like ignore it, I'ma have to dust off my Ouija board. You're dead to me.
And that's all you get.
You have a pre-save link, don't you?
Yes, and I fixed it this time for everybody who wanted to
Oh,
pre-save
well
Weird
done.
but couldn't because it was only on the Spotify platform. I now have the pre-saves for every platform. I'll leave all of the links downstairs in the description box of the YouTube
Proud of
video.
you.
I'm proud of myself, you know.
I will pre-save it.
I'm shitting myself. There's a lot of big
Oh,
things
that's the
happening in terms of music stuff right now that I'm really excited to share with you, and I'll be able to soon.
I think you should be very proud of yourself.
I am, but
Good.
I'm also very nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I think there's even been an opportunity for you guys to see me live. So it's funny because we're filming in advance, right? But this thing that I'm doing next week will have already happened and I've already showed
Oh
about
my
it online.
god, it's already done,
My heart
Shaaba.
is beating so fast. So fast.
I can hear it.
Right. Anyway, thank you, as always, for your gorgeous support. Now that we've thrown shade to family vloggers and plugged
Well
music,
deserved.
shall we go fishing? For us?
Drama!
So let's go.
Drama! Am I the drama, Shaaba?
Always.
Thank you.
I nearly forgot.
I know. I was waiting. There was a pause there. You hesitate. Maybe I'm not the drama.
Oh, for the first time.
Am I the drama, Shaaba?
Always.
For using the word guy to refer to a woman.
Oh, this feels very fitting
Oh,
to
this-
have you on today.
This does.
For
That-
Trans Day of
You brought me
Visibility
here
as well.
specifically, didn't you?
I did.
How
I planned this.
dare you?
This is actually a cross post from a Peach who was like, hey, cover this on the podcast, babe.
Whoa,
So let's do it.
we're here.
OP says, last night I was leaving my botany lab.
Oh, fancy.
That's so casual.
Yeah.
Everybody just has a botany lab.
My mum has a botany.
Yes, she does. Your mum's a literal botanist professor. Last night, I was leaving my botany lab a little earlier than the rest of my group. My group consists of 2 other men and 1 woman. She's given me, actually vibes.
No, say it properly.
Actually. Is that right?
Yeah. I don't know. What are those Is that like the kind of, I'm always going to correct you?
I think so.
That kind of-
Actually vibes
Yeah.
since day 1, and we're only
Okay.
on day 4. I feel like you can learn a lot of people in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I get it. For people listening as well, the actually quote has been accompanied with the little geeky emoji.
Yeah.
So,
And it's been spelt like actually.
actually.
Yeah.
Like, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
Actually. I do know the type.
Yes.
And if I'm not misinterpreting, annoying.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I can be that person. It's
I-
quite a neurospicy thing to do sometimes.
No.
And I
you're
love
not.
people who are able to share facts and be so passionate about something. But if you're doing it in a way that's coming across really bitchy or
Yeah,
condescending, then that's not okay.
yeah. That's it. That's who I'm thinking of.
See, I'd say that I'm like, fun fact, as opposed to, actually.
I think it's
Do you know
when
what I mean?
people feel the need to nitpick on every single thing you say. That's who I'm imagining.
So
and it's
not
like,
fact, it's
yeah.
correction.
yeah, and it's not even always correct correction, and it's definitely not always necessary correction.
I
I just don't think I like.
like people.
I don't like people as much as you do. takes me a while.
That is Jamie's TED Talk.
Thank
I
you.
hate people. Okay. For context, says OP, I use the word guys to refer to groups of people, but I also use y'all sometimes. I always feel so bad saying y'all because I don't have the American
It
accent.
sounds bad in our accents.
It does, doesn't it? It's like
Yeah.
Brits normally sound really good to Americans, but I feel like there is no nice way to
Y'all.
say y'all as a Brit.
Yeah, there isn't.
You'll?
Yeah, no, that's a Yule log.
Right, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I figured that this was pretty normal until yesterday. What do you think? I use guys all the time.
Okay, this is a topic of discussion.
This is a topic.
Hey y'all, parentheses, trying not to use the gendered term you guys anymore, even though it honestly sounds neutral to me, end parentheses.
I changed my intro on my videos from hey guys to hey spuds to make it totally gender neutral. Personally,
Also
in my
because you love potatoes.
yeah, I also love potatoes. Personally, in like my day-to-day life and like my friendship groups, I will still use it because I know that the people I'm friends with are comfortable with that term, and
Yeah.
I view it personally as gender neutral. But I know that it can be uncomfortable for some people to have that term referred to them, especially if they are struggling to be gendered correctly generally as well.
I hear that. I would never want to upset someone.
Yeah.
And so if someone had a problem with it, I would make a really conscious effort to try not to. And it is so ingrained in my language to say
Yeah.
guys, it would take me a long time to not do that.
I just now use it in my personal life with people I've used it with for years and who use it too.
You know, I've never thought about it. I've never thought about the term guys. Like, I'm sure I've probably said it hundreds of times in videos.
Occasionally, I think I still do slip up.
Yeah. But you're right, I never mean it as a gendered thing.
Yeah,
So, like, it's
same.
interesting to be thinking about it consciously for the first time.
Yeah.
Do you know, there's a part of me that's also listening to this being like, oh, come on, guys. Oh my god, I just did
You
it.
just did it!
You're like, okay, oh, come on. Like, really? Is this
Yo.
what we're going to be so pernickety about? It feels like one of those things that people say, oh, you can't say this because the woke don't like it.
Oh,
Do
and
you see-
it's
do you see
not.
what I'm
It's
saying?
one of those dog whistles where it's not.
Yes,
it's
it's
actually the
used.
right who are saying people don't like it, but then it's actually.
It's like this whole like stupid bar rainbow sheep thing. Like, I don't know any single person of colour who has a problem with the song bar
I
black sheep.
do know some people
but it became weaponised.
who are uncomfortable with the term because they personally view it as gendered. I think it's one of these like kind of grey areas
Yeah.
where people who
And
are
it's fine to be a
uncomfortable
grey area.
aren't wrong. I personally don't view the use of it as wrong
Especially
as well.
generally, unless
Yeah.
you're doing it to specifically gender unnecessarily.
Yeah, because like intention is really important, and I think when people walk into a room and they're like, "Hey guys, how's it all going?" There's no intention to misgender somebody, but if from that it's like, "I'm really sorry," I find it quite triggering. I think if you listen to that and take it on board, and
Then
like,
you're not
okay,
dick- Exactly. As long
There's
as you're
like-
not trying to be intentionally hurtful, right? That's the point.
And you
Like,
take
hear
on
it
board
and
what
be
your
like,
language,
okay,
yeah.
I should really try not to use this phrase in front of this person.
Yeah.
I, for example, at the moment, keep saying bro to everyone. I call my sister bro.
Yeah.
I call you bro.
I
I think
mean-
I've called my mum bro. I mean, like, oh, bro.
Mum, bro.
Which is funny because obviously I don't mean it at all in the terms of brother.
Yeah.
It's just, I have these little phrases that keep coming into my vernacular.
I think so.
And it's only for a small amount of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I really need this one to disappear because it's very annoying. One of the phrases that hasn't left me recently is me saying, imagine.
Oh yeah, no,
All
I've heard
the
that.
time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, imagine. I'm like,
All
shall
the
stop
people.
imagining. It's very annoying.
Oh, one I use is mate. Like, bro, if I get really annoyed at people, it comes out. I'm
Oh,
like, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I will use that regardless of the gender of the person I'm feeling frustrated at. And when I say frustrated, that's not in person. It's if I'm watching TV and someone's doing something really dumb. I'm like, mate.
Mate is a gender neutral term though.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
mean
it's,
man.
I feel like in like certainly UK like language, it's more masculine
Oh, you're
coded.
right, mate.
So we were just watching a Stacey Dooley.
Stacey Dooley says mate all
And
the time.
to guys, she says mate. I mean, this is like a 7-year-old episode, so I don't know if she still does it. But she was like, "You're right, mate," to the guy, but to the woman, she's like, "Hi, how you doing?"
You're
like she didn't
right.
use mate
How
to him.
funny.
And I'm not judging her use of language.
No, no.
I'm just saying it is a more masculine coded word.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
I feel
we
like
should
we've
read
had this.
this.
Like, thesis
Yes.
discussion. We've not
Sorry.
read the post. I'm so sorry.
Let's get going.
Sure. It's the first time we've filmed one of these in a while. Let's actually finish the post.
Yeah.
For context, I use the word guys, says OP, to refer to groups of people, but I also use y'all sometimes. I figured that this was pretty normal until yesterday. Anyway, as I'm packing up, I say, see you guys later, have a good weekend, and turn to walk out. She replies, and I'm assuming this is, actually lady,
Yeah.
with something I don't hear. So I turn back around and say, huh? That's one of my pet peeves. Huh? Or like, what?
Yeah, I say excuse
I'm
me.
like, sorry? Excuse
Yeah,
me?
sorry?
It's something that was like beat into me as a kid. Like, you don't say what? You don't say huh?
It was something that was gently encouraged in me as a child.
That one. And the other thing is, if someone asks you a question, I would typically like nod.
Yeah.
If I wanted to say yes or like shake my head. The amount of times every time I nod now, I can still hear like there's someone specific in my family who goes, only donkeys nod, Shaaba.
Oh, God.
Verbally give me your answer.
I feel like I know who that
yes.
is.
Opie continues. She says, actually, there's a gal here too with a big old smirk on her face. I return the smirk and say, actually, I'm pretty sure that guys is widely recognized as gender neutral. She responded with, actually, no, it's not. Still bearing that huge smile.
Opie has
It
an
feels
ick.
So antagonistic.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, also the word gal is so old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It really like puts my back up.
This to me, somebody who'd be like, there's a gal here, wouldn't be somebody I'd say was in the mindset of viewing guys as gendered. Because I
No,
feel
I
like
think
viewing
maybe
it as
you are.
gendered is more modern. Or are you thinking like guys and
No,
gals?
but I'm saying it's the opposite.
Oh,
Isn't that so interesting?
that is so interesting.
I'm seeing that as like, oh no, I'm not a guy, I'm a gal, and it's with the smile. It's the big old smirk. This actually, it's not, you little bitch.
I can see it, but also like OP's perspective is very loaded.
Of course. OP continues to say, I grin and say, okay, half sarcastically, and walk out. Now, I consider myself pretty understanding of other people and try my best to accommodate them and make them feel comfortable. Or at least I hope I do. But something about her snarky and know-it-all demeanour bothers me, and I don't know if I can deal with 3.5 more months of this. And so am I the drama. There is an edit.
Right.
Should we read it now?
Yeah.
OP says, some of y'all friggin' savage and way meaner than me or just Reddit warriors. I appreciate all the comments giving different perspectives about women in STEM. I will do my best to accommodate her, even if I think she's mad annoying. And to y'all that are assuming that I am a misogynist from one Reddit post, get bent nooses.
Right. The main thing I take from this post is OP does not like their colleague.
I am
And they are
getting that
annoyed by
vibe.
their they have the colleague ick.
They do.
And I get it. Sometimes we just really don't click with people. And also a message that could have been very well received, delivered by somebody that they got on with or in a way that didn't antagonize them.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like, I'm really sorry, being referred to as guys, I view it as a gendered term and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I feel like if there was a teaching moment rather than a, well,
You turned into Donald Duck for a second
sorry,
there.
like if there was like a, well, actually,
Actually.
I feel like that rubs people up the wrong way.
Understandably.
And it doesn't mean you can't say it because often people aren't aware that's what they're like. Just because she's an antagonistic person,
Yes.
by the sounds of it,
Doesn't
mean she doesn't have a
deserve to be
right to call
respected.
out. Yeah, and she doesn't deserve to be
Yes.
respected.
Yes, I hear you.
So from OP's perspective,
Are you
I
trying not
get
to
it.
be biased, especially because you can see such a loaded bias coming
Yeah,
from OP?
I'm trying to not.
See through the hatred.
Yes, I'm trying to not put OP's colleague onto somebody I don't like.
Yes.
And then like judging them based
I
on
think
that.
that is a very wise thing to do.
Because it's so easy if somebody annoys us or we don't like them that when they have a legitimate call out or comment, we don't listen to it and we disregard it.
I totally agree with what
I
you're saying.
feel like what we were talking about is in terms of the term guys, if we use it with people we know are comfortable with it, it's fine. If somebody says, I'm not super comfortable with that term, we respect language.
And I think this women in STEM point that OP mentioned in the edit makes a lot of sense too.
It does, because it's so hard to be in STEM. Like it is commonly seen as a misogynistic environment, man heavy. I saw it with my mum.
Yeah.
She was the first woman to make professor in her department. She was the first woman to make head of department.
Go off, Christine.
Yes, a queen. But like that department had been around forever.
How
and
cute
like,
is that? Can I just say how cute that is? That like someone's referred to their mum as a queen. I don't know. I just think that's really precious.
I mean, she has her annoying moments because she's my mum, but
she's
she's
also a
great.
queen. Yay, Christine.
But like seeing that, it took her until she was a certain age to reach that point in her career, and so many men had gone before her in that same department.
And it's not changed. We have so many friends who are in the exact same department, started in the same place and doing PhDs. We've got a friend over in Australia who's doing her PhD in biology right now, and the level of hatred towards women in STEM. My sister Nadia, who you guys know as well, right? Because we've had her on the podcast a couple times. She is a woman in STEM in computer science, which is like the most male heavy group.
And she's spoken to us about her experience with that.
I had a collaborative PhD, which was half in computer science. I learned from my supervisor, who was a woman. Women in STEM get it rough.
Yeah.
Like, it is
They
true.
need to be uplifted.
And
it's
so
that
I
little
understand.
visualizer, you know, with the people on the boxes.
Oh,
You know,
equity versus
and it's like men
equality.
are on 3 boxes to look over the fence and women are still in a hole in the ground.
Yes, I
So-
do hear that. At the same time, it's funny.
You
when
can
I
still
speak to
find
these
women in
people-
STEM annoying.
Yes, but that's not what I was going to say. My point was, if I think of those people, Anna, my incredible supervisor, Gillian, who was my other supervisor, who was also a woman in STEM, Nadia, your mum, we
Yeah.
all use guys as a term, and
Yeah.
I think maybe this is wrong. I'm just saying that from my point of view, if I was to bring up that conversation, they would maybe see this as a bit of a dog whistle and being like, there's actual work that needs to be done for women in STEM. The use of the term guys is not that. Maybe we can focus those efforts on the conversations that really need to happen, like getting the same opportunities.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think what I'm reading from OP is it's the way that she presented it. So like, actually there's a gal here too. It's not said in a constructive way. It's not said in a learning way, a teaching way, like a this is why I'm uncomfortable with this. It's
Or in a vulnerable
it's
way,
yeah,
even
it's
necessarily.
coming across, and it doesn't, people don't always need to be vulnerable to be listened to.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
But-
mean you have to be like, oh, actually, this really offends me. That wasn't what I was talking about. What I'm saying is it's not coming from a point of sharing to be like, actually, this doesn't make me feel good as a woman in STEM.
I hear
Like
you.
that
Yeah,
level
yeah,
of
yeah.
vulnerability,
I
just
got you.
sharing why.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the way it comes across, there's a gal here too. It comes across as like, I deliberately want to have something to say right now.
It comes
doesn't.
across as, actually.
Yeah, it
which
doesn't
is-
actually annoy me. I just want to say something.
Yeah.
And that's very different. And I can see what maybe OP is struggling to understand. Have I said something offensive, or is she just annoying?
I do want to know if OP is a man or a woman, or non-binary, but I'm assuming that would have been stated if it was. I
Yeah.
think maybe OP is a man because my group consists of 2 other men and 1
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah. And then also the giving a different perspective about women in STEM, I'll do my best to accommodate her, even if I think she's mad annoying, indicates that he's a man who's been educated about the difficulties for women.
Yeah.
Whereas if he were a woman in STEM, if OP was a woman in STEM, I feel like they'd already have known that.
I do hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I think as well, it's so interesting, and maybe I am wrong for saying this. I feel like I'd be more open to listening and accommodating if it's coming from a right place than a wrong place. And therefore, it's important. We just had this conversation
Yeah.
before we even knew the post, right? Where we were saying, I say guys all the time.
Yeah.
As in, we, the royal you. Everybody says guys as a gender neutral term for the
Mm-hmm.
most part. And it's fine, but if someone finds it offensive, the good thing to do would be to change your language, to make sure that you're not offending someone.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal, right? You find another term, you move on with your
Yeah.
life. If it's coming from a genuine place, of course I'm going to respect you. If you're being annoying about it, I can see why someone would then push back and be like, I'm not going to
If
do
you're
that.
saying it for the sake of saying something but you don't actually care, or somebody's made to feel like you don't care and you're just doing it to be irritating.
Then actually I see that as being more offensive to the women in STEM. You're kind of taking the piss. Do you see what I'm saying?
I think if she'd said like, look, I view it as a gender term and it's really important to me to be recognised as a woman in STEM, that's so understandable. That makes so much sense. And maybe that's what she means. And I think if I were OP, I'd try and have that conversation.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'd love to just understand a bit more about how you feel about that term. Like, can we have a chat about it? Like, I'd love to learn more about what I did wrong to see if she can explain it more. Because if there's nothing else, then she's just like,
I don't think someone needs to explain it more, but I think it's just like if you wanted to clarify, to be like, hey, I really don't want to offend you. Are you saying that as a woman in STEM, you're feeling like me using the term guys isn't inclusive of you? Because if so, I just want to let you know that that isn't the case. Would you like me to stop using it in
Sure.
reference to the group? I'll
Sure.
do my best. Especially if OP is definitely a guy saying this to a woman that he knows he doesn't like. It could be like, well, explain to me why I need to accommodate you.
oh,
you know, like,
well, yeah,
that's
of
how I
course
feel
there's
like
a
it
way that you
could
can.
come across.
Yeah.
What badge would you give for this?
Oh, I do have a badge. And I'm really having to strip out my personal bias towards the type of person that I feel like OP is describing. But I do have a badge.
I think I have one too, and I think it's surprising me.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
No
You're the
drama here.
Oh! Explain to me your badge.
I feel like OP seems open to understanding more, and their back has just been put up by an antagonistic colleague. But if that had been delivered in a way that wasn't potentially purposefully just like, ha ha, like to rile somebody up,
They would have
OP
very much
would have been
listened.
very receptive to that.
I do hear you. I did for a second think no drama here.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking that that's the badge that you were going to give. That was my surprise. My badge is you are the drama. It's a very small you are the drama, and it's coming from me trying to put myself in the position of a woman hearing this from a guy. When I'm looking at this, I'm like,
Yeah.
if someone's going, actually, there's a gal here too, and you're like, and this is me like you trying to see past how annoying this kind of person is, maybe that is their way of saying, in a very political, high level way that's not trying to antagonize, I don't like the fact that you've just said guys and referred to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that is their phrase. So then for Opie to turn around and be like, actually, I'm pretty sure it's a gender neutral term. And
Sounds
she's
a bit
gone, well, actually, it's
mansplaining.
not. Exactly. That's the vibe
Yeah.
that it's giving off. That's why I think it's okay to have been the drama in this instant because of the way that you clapped back. And because I'm so convinced that the type of person that she is has clouded your ability to see this.
Objectively.
Yeah, as it has mine. I just want to say as well, maybe that's why I'm overcompensating with my You're the Drama badge, but that is the badge that is feeling right for me to give.
If I wasn't giving no drama, it would be you are the drama, like you.
Interesting.
But again, I don't know if I'm overcompensating and I'm not wanting to like be a dick to the one woman in the group.
And again, all of this is to say the badges are quite arbitrary, aren't they? The point is, if you're using a term like guys and someone doesn't like it, what is it to change?
Yeah.
What's in a word?
One commenter says, I was consulting with Starbucks, got called out for using guys as a plural gender neutral term. Maybe it is regional, but I switched to y'all and all y'all.
Oh, y'all.
But
it sounds
yeah.
so cool. I wish I could say it.
That just completely like made my brain short circuit for a second.
y'all.
I was like, oh, y'all.
The Britishness is crashing.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I think this is a really prime example of somebody who knows it to be used in one way, is told that's not how we use it here, and goes, okay, sure, I'm going to switch.
I think this is also a really good lesson in like just being put in your place a little bit and realizing that just because something works for one group of people doesn't mean that it works for everyone.
Yeah.
Something that I'm learning through some of the other content that we're scripting at the moment, which is very heavy, is that not everybody within a group is monolithic. We don't all think the same. And if someone is telling you, hey, I'm not a fan, why? What makes you so invested to stick to something that you know is making someone uncomfortable? It makes your life easier to just change that language. What is a Brit-friendly alternative, seeing as y'all is not
I know, I was going to
Brit-friendly
say at least
alternative?
Americans have y'all.
What can we do?
Hey everyone.
Hey pals.
Hey pals.
Hey friends.
Folks,
Hey
I've heard a
spuds.
lot. Yeah.
Hey Peaches, if you have any hey Peaches,
Hey, Peaches.
if you have any suggestions for other terms that could be used and that are often widely used, pop them downstairs in the comment section.
Yeah.
You still thinking of them? You still thinking of more?
I'm thinking.
I was giving a presentation to an all-girls Catholic school and said, hey guys, I got chewed out by a nun in front of the whole school. I've used folks ever since and it has been 20 years.
See? Super easy.
To change. I think that's what I'm learning from this.
Got chewed out by a nun.
Imagine. I said the phrase. Imagine.
Wow. Imagine all the nuns.
Living for today. Amen. Actually, there is a gal in here. I know, I was saying goodbye to my friends.
Oh, burn.
You know, and if this person is very annoying and you don't like them, that is definitely something that
Yeah.
that I could see myself going down. Is it the point that is morally right? Probably
Yeah.
not.
Sorry, I just held in a yawn if my face looked weird to anyone watching this on YouTube. Do you know what is in my head? I'm trying to battle between objectively what is just like the right respectful behaviour path to take, and subjectively the fact that when we don't like people, it's so hard to change, and it's also so easy to slip into a behaviour that is objectively wrong and isn't just like, you know, the OP could carry on saying, hey guys, to specifically piss off this colleague just because they don't like her. Swap her out for a woman that they do like, and suddenly, instantly, it's like, oh yeah, no, I'll change my language. And this brings me to a point of like, women don't have to be likable or palatable to you for you to respect
To enforce
them.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think for me, I'm also trying to work through a lot of hypocrisies and contradictions in my mind. Language is a powerful tool. How we refer to people is powerful. So how am I then also sitting here and being like, yeah, I'm going to continue to say guys, knowing that there is a woman in STEM that I don't know about who's clearly got their back up about it and doesn't want to be referred to in that way. Like, how can I continue to say, sure, I'll still use the term guys unless somebody that I'm speaking with is like, no, this is not okay. Do you know what I mean? And I think for me, my mind then immediately goes to the fact that actually, language, when it's not being inflammatory, is incredibly free. Even in this space, the amount of time that we've gone, oh girl, it's such a big thing.
I was just thinking of Rolly. We have a friend who literally just goes girls as like
Come
a
on, girls.
general term.
To you,
To me. And I've had people comment saying, oh, why is Rolly calling you that?
Right.
And I'm like, but I'm fine with it. We're
I
friends.
can think of countless examples. Me saying bro to my sisters, being like, oh bro. Like, there are so many ways in which we use language in a floral, fun and fragrant way that in some ways really contradicts. But I think it's because in those moments it's never questioned, because you know what the intention is. You know within your friendship group that you're not doing that to harm someone.
Yeah.
And so the lesson is, if it's upsetting someone, change it.
Yeah.
So yeah, both things can be true. Some terms to some may come out as offensive, but some terms may not be offensive at all, and you are both entitled to use it and also should stop if someone is genuinely upset about it.
Yeah.
Just treat people with respect. Isn't that that's what it boils down to?
I agree. If someone tells me they don't want to be referred to as one of the guys, don't refer to them that way. Not the drama the first time you said it, definitely drama if you keep using it.
Fair.
Yeah, makes no difference if their demeanour annoys you.
I feel like this comment entirely
Yeah.
encapsulates the very
This is all we needed to
conversation
say.
that we've just had.
I completely agree. That's why I gave no drama here, but if there was an edit follow-up of OP going,
But
I'm still going to
continuing
use
to do
it,
it.
then I'd be like, you're the drama.
Yeah, because in that situation, at the end of the day, why is someone's comfort less important to you than a political point of using a statement?
Yeah.
Like, what does that say about you?
A lot.
Drama. Am I the drama for wanting to break up with my girlfriend because I was a dare date?
Oh.
Is that what I think it is?
What's a dare day? Is
you know,
that when it's
they're
like,
I only went out with you because it's a dare.
oh.
Like one of those coming of age romance teen movies.
Oh, but OP was the date this person. Oh, okay, right.
Let's see.
My girlfriend, 24-year-old woman, and I am a 27-year-old man, have been dating for around 8 months now. I first met her at a funeral, of all places. Interesting.
okay.
I wasn't close to the deceased. They were a friend's uncle. I was just going along to keep him company.
What a cute friend you are.
Yes.
I don't know many people who would go to a funeral to support a friend.
That's very sweet.
Very sweet.
In any case, I wasn't particularly sad looking. I was talking with a family friend and smiling, which she noticed and made a pretty morbid joke asking if I put him in the casket.
Oh.
Okay. It was so blunt, I just sort of snort/laughed and we got into chatting all afternoon, ending up with her number in my phone by the end of it.
Do you know what?
Okay.
A funeral is a cute place. That's a cute story. A cute
Where did you
origin
meet?
story. If we forget about the title for a second,
Yeah.
that's adorable.
Okay. She was funny, witty, pretty, and a genuinely fun girl to be around, so of course I took a chance and asked her out, which she accepted rather eagerly. My ego was through the roof at that. Little did I know.
Dun, dun,
Dot.
dun.
I came home a little earlier from work last night. I was covering a shift and the bloke I was covering came in anyway, so they didn't need me for 8 hours.
Sure.
Anyway, I came home earlier than planned and overheard my girlfriend laughing with someone on her phone. I was about to surprise her with a little jump scare when she said, and I quote, "I never meant for this whole thing with boyfriend to last so long. I'd never normally date someone like him."
Oh no. Oh no.
That sounds like she's planning on breaking up.
Or not. Like, oh, well, I never meant for it to last so long.
Oh.
It depends on where the emphasis on the sentence is.
Yeah.
I never meant for it to last so long.
I need italics.
Or I never meant for it to last so long.
Yeah.
You know, there's grammar, tone. It's all very
Tone.
important.
She spotted me shortly after saying that. I admit I made a noise I can't even begin to explain, and she heard me. Oh, I'd never seen someone go that pale before. She was all wide, teary eyes and quivering lips.
Oh, so that's how you know it's genuine.
Yeah. Girlfriend then spent the next hour or so confessing that she never planned to date me, but once her friends found out she'd given me her number, they found a pic of me online and apparently found me so hilariously unattractive that girlfriend just had to fake date me for a week to give me, quote, hope.
Oh no, up until this point, in my mind, I was like, okay, sure. So someone just went at the funeral, that guy, and you went out for a date and you didn't expect it to go anywhere, and now you actually like each other and you're together. That's the high school movie trope. That's fine. That's actually quite cute to be like, and guess what? It lasted. This is the happy ending we never
We got a
intended.
dog.
Wah, wah, wah. But this is just so mean.
God. I wish I was joking. Her friends and apparently girlfriend are still stuck in their mean girl high school phase.
What
Sounds
up?
like it.
In
Girlfriend agreed, but I guess apparently forgot about it because we've been dating for 8 months, not 1 week. She told me that she was stupid for agreeing with it and that I was a really good bloke and that she really did love me, but she never expected to actually feel that way about me.
Wow.
It would completely reframe how you viewed somebody. That like at first your girlfriend and her friends didn't just like think that you were a bit of an odd choice for her to date, but thought that you were hilariously
So unattractive that was the reason that you were like a pity invite to be like, give him an experience for a week that he'll never have again. That's so different.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Why? Because I'm not her usual type of guy. When I asked her to elaborate, she mumbled that she didn't initially find me attractive at all, but after dating for a few weeks, she stopped caring about my looks.
I mean, carry on.
Yeah, no, I hear it because, like, I've also heard of people who didn't find their partner initially attractive and then got to know them and found them attractive.
And that's
because,
fine.
yeah, but that's different to going on a date with someone because your friends dared you because they're
Specifically
unattractive.
because you find them so unattractive.
I admit I sort of lost my temper here and called her an immature waste of time. I told her I wish she just dumped me a week into dating because to find all this shit out 8 months in when I cared about her, loved her, was effing foul. I'm staying with my mum at the moment because I need space to think and vent. Would I be the drama if I dumped my girlfriend over this? No.
Okay, biggest, quickest.
Like, you're not the drama.
Not the drama,
at all.
Not the drama at all, at all. I'm just repeating what you're saying. I'm just so in shock. You would not be the drama. You do not need to give a reason for why you do not want to be in a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
If you do not want to be in a relationship with someone, that is it. You dump them.
Yeah.
I will just ask, do you actually want to dump them? That is the question that I would be asking.
Yeah.
Because I hear you. And you, wow. Sorry, it's all sinking in. And I'm like, oh.
This is, but like, how betrayed would you feel?
But also, how cute is it? I'm not saying this is a good thing. Okay,
How cute!
One second.
Sorry, I
one
just
second.
like ferociously grabbed your trousers.
She's like pulling my leg off the screen. My point is, how cute is it? She loves you that much that she's seen past it and you guys are solid for 8 months. What I'm saying is, there was then and there is now. And... Okay, Shaaba's metaphor moments. We're taking this to a different scenario.
If I found out that you murdered kittens as a child, it would change my viewpoint on you.
Okay, you took that so extreme.
Jamie's metaphor moment.
I was going to say, what if you found out that initially I went on a date with someone else whilst also dating you because I wasn't serious about you in the way that you were serious
Right,
about me?
yeah.
This isn't a big confession. This didn't actually happen. Say I, like, slept with someone. Oh, that's quite harsh. Because I don't think this is as harsh as actually cheating. Say I went on a date with someone and nothing happened and I didn't tell you until now, 8 months down the line.
That's different.
And we're like, hey, I love you for you now, and there was a thing that you did that sucked, and you should have told me, and then we would have broken up if you told me. But now, I love you so much, is it worth putting these 8 months away? That's what my brain is saying. If you guys really love each other, yeah, frickin' sucks. Does she still find you unattractive?
Well, no, stopped caring about my looks.
So does she still find you unattractive?
Don't know. To me, that reads as you're still not physically her type, but she liked your personality enough.
That's not what matters to her.
I'm
just trying to make OP happy.
I know, but OP is saying I cared about her, loved her, past tense. I think for OP, this is like flipped his perspective. It's like there are certain things you can find out about people that change the way you see them.
1,000,000%.
You're
And
like,
I can see that.
You know, when people are like, you're a different person to me now.
I totally can see that, and I'm not saying, like, I've given my badge. You are not the drama babe, and if you want to break up with her, that's what I'm saying. You break up with her. If you don't want to, I just don't want to feel like you have to because that happened. Lots of people can have really questionable and unconventional pasts. I know a couple, for example, who I think this person's such a great, gorgeous little egg, but their relationship is a bit. If I'd seen that on paper, I'd be like, ooh, you know, oh, really? That's how it started? But the fact is, they're good for each other, and they're so happy, and I'm happy for them.
I hear you.
Just make sure that you're doing it because you actually want to, because it would be a shame to throw 8 months away and a relationship that could last forever if you're both into it now because of something that happened. But if you can't get over it,
God, I just feel like
that's hard.
It's so humiliating. Like somebody's laughed at you with their friends and then gone out with you as a dare and been like, oh, actually, he's quite nice. It just feels shit.
It does.
I don't know what I would do in this situation.
Is this my trauma coming out? Because there's also a part of me that says, yes, it feels shit, but also how wonderful a person must you be that despite that, they've been with you for 8 months.
That is your poppy.
Is that
That's
right?
like your,
that's my
I need to
toxic
find
positivity.
positives everywhere.
And I just want to make it really, really clear. I am not suggesting that OP should stay in a relationship
Yeah,
with this
no,
person.
I know what you're saying. You
just
have
think they should
made it
make
clear.
the right decision for the
Yeah,
right reasons.
I hear you. Should we read the edit now?
Yeah, there's an edit. Yeah.
So I turned my phone back on and it's a mess of texts, voicemails and missed calls. I've only listened to a couple, but she's absolutely sobbing her heart out and pleading for me to come home so she can explain. Nothing from her friends, mind you, just her. Says it all really. No idea what to do, but now I feel like rubbish. I think it would lose the trust.
Do you know what I'm thinking? And I think this is why I'm latching onto that. If you had said to me, if this was your reasoning for dating me back when we first met, I wouldn't be able to dump you now. I love you so much. You know what I mean? Like, we work so well. Yes, it sucked. And you've grown from that.
Oh my God, did you date me as a dare?
No, yes, no. Like, but do you see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to put myself in that position of being in a relationship with someone and finding something about their past self that they are regretful for and not like now. I couldn't do that to you. I love what we have. I love you. Like,
can I say that you are both right in what you were saying? Knowing you, I can see exactly where this is coming from.
Where?
Your
Therapy me.
I feel like you have spoken a lot about how like you have grown so much as a person, like in the last 10, 15 years.
I hated
and you
myself
didn't,
when we first started dating.
And so I feel like you are sitting here going, we need to give our
Don't judge me
past
for my
selves
past.
grace because you don't want to be judged for your past self.
Yeah.
But your past self was not this. You were never a mean girl. You're never a bully. This is on a different level. I know exactly what you were like as a teenager. I started dating you as a teenager. I found out a lot of stuff about you.
And not all of it great.
Not all of it positive, but it was not a patch on this.
Okay.
I can see it. You're putting yourself in her shoes on her level, but that is not where you belong.
Okay.
This is very different. And also, we are married. We've been together for 13 and a half years, and I'm not diminishing how deep people can fall in love quite quickly, but it is different to what you build in 13 years compared to 8 months.
So
especially
8 months into our relationship,
yeah,
or like within a year into our relationship, because that's not too different.
sure,
Right? If I'd said to you, Jamie, here's the thing, I love you. This needs to be a movie, okay? Someone needs to have written this somewhere. This has to be one of those teenage movies. I only went out with you because my friends dared me because you're trans. But actually, I've realised how wonderful life is with you, and I've grown. Would you have broken up with me 1 year in? That's not what happened, bro. I'm just saying that is
no,
totally
I know we
not
have the
what
same
happened.
friends. They wouldn't have done that. Okay, I'm trying to. For some reason, that feels different. If you'd said to me the same
It's a
thing
shitty
happened,
reason. Did you see what I'm saying?
yeah, but if you'd said to me the same thing happened, that would hurt me more
Interesting.
because
Ooh.
I'm trying to like sort it out in my head.
What an interesting conversation for trans day visibility.
Because like I feel like there was a learning curve for you starting to date a trans person in the first place. We had conversations in the beginning about it. I know it wasn't a dare, but we had those chats. Not that you were ever coming from a negative place, but there was a lot to learn for both of us about that relationship and how it worked with me being trans and like your family stigma and things like that.
There's also a lot to learn about, looks aren't everything. I don't know why I'm pushing this point so hard.
Yeah.
Look, she was a little shit. She's a
But
little
do you know what
shit.
it is? I think regardless of what you think you do in a hypothetical situation, if this happened between us, that's so loaded with how you feel about me
Now.
and how much you want to be with me now that you're like, oh, I could look past that.
I hear
I
you.
could look past that.
I'm laughing because I know for a fact there's going to be some asshole viewers and listeners who only hate watch these and who are like, that's totally what happened. Shaaba only dated Jamie for a dare.
It's not what happened.
It's really not.
It's not putting yourself in the context of like, would I still date somebody if they said that to me based on your personal experience now? It's putting yourself in the context of how would I feel if somebody told that about me and I felt like I didn't love them anymore? Like if that did
Yes,
change how I viewed them.
of course.
That's,
Oh, no, a million
I
percent.
think that's why I'm a lot stronger on like,
If OP says this has
Break up.
entirely changed my relationship and my perception of her entirely, you do not be in that relationship
no, and I
anymore.
know you think that. I'm just saying that's where I'm coming from with my viewpoint. That's like first and foremost in my head.
Because for you that would entirely change.
Well, the way OP is speaking about the relationship, it sounds like it's entirely changed.
I propose to you another metaphor moment. 1 second. What if it wasn't the fact that you were trans? What if what you found out was when we started dating, I exclusively, with me and my brown gal pals, went on a date with you because you're white, not thinking that it would last. Because it's more linked. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all know that racism is not okay. I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying about the trans journey and how it was a new thing for...
Well, I guess it's the same thing. How would you feel if a year into our relationship I'd said I never
I only dated
actually
you 'cause you
wanted
were
to
brown.
date you, I just was dared to date
a brown person.
a brown woman?
But now you love me and
Yeah.
I know you're not racist. In a year down the line, if I was like, no, we have potential and I really love you so much, I feel like I could see past that. I'd be like, that was so f***ing shit of you. You were an asshole of a human being and I don't think that you should be with any of your friends now. If this is genuinely how they feel,
Yeah.
what the frick are you doing being friends with them?
Yeah. Get Cutler's friends out if you've really changed.
If they haven't changed and you have changed, we are not speaking with these people. people. What the hell? But if I'm in love with you now and I know you're not racist because do you know what I mean? Like, you respect me as a partner.
Yeah.
Then this is the only place that my viewpoint is coming from. I would hate to throw away something that could be really, really good because of a past that someone has grown from.
Yes, I hear you.
That's it.
I hear you. I think if OP's girlfriend, if they stay together, remains friends with those friends, and if they haven't changed,
Yeah.
bad vibes. But it sounds like it because the friends haven't reached out.
Though, it's sort of like, how long has it been? Would you
Sure,
expect a friend to reach out? If I was one of those friends, I would let them decide what they're doing as a couple, and assuming they are staying together, because that's the only time that I would then go and see that person again, I'd be like, mate, I'm so sorry. That was a really shit thing for me to do.
I know why I feel differently about the trans thing.
Okay, I'm so
And
intrigued.
it's the same as the white thing.
Oh.
I am not insecure about being trans.
But you're insecure about being ugly.
I'm not insecure about being white. But if...
You're like the most beautiful person. How can you be insecure about the way that you look?
Thank you. But if you told me that you'd found me hilariously unattractive, that would make me feel insecure.
Because it's something that
Because
you feel
it's-
rings true. It's purple broccoli syndrome.
Yeah.
You know you're not a purple broccoli.
Yeah.
But you feel that
I
you're
know
unattractive.
that being trans isn't like... I
Something to
don't
be
view
ashamed
it as
about.
a shameful thing or a bad thing. I don't view being a person of colour or a white person as a bad thing or something to be ashamed of. Like,
And I hear what you're saying. You're not saying that it's a shameful thing to be ugly. You're just saying that you feel shame, not about your trans identity, not about being white, but for not being as pretty as you feel like you should be.
if I found out that you didn't find me attractive in the
is
beginning...
Wild to me. That is so wild to me. I know that's not what this podcast is about, but I just feel so bamboozled by what you've just said.
Why?
I don't want your head to get too big.
Am I shallow?
No, I don't think it's shallow. Even if some people may deem it to be shallow, it's not a bad thing if you prioritize looks. What's wild to me
I don't prioritise them. I would just feel really insecure in our relationship if there was a niggle in my head that you found me unattractive, like hilariously unattractive at one
and you're
point.
saying that because you're saying that you feel shame about the way that you look. That's the bit that I'm hooked on.
I do think you think
hooking
I'm more
onto.
attractive than I actually am.
This isn't like a
But-
here to appease Jamie thing.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is like, it's wild to me because if you feel like you're not attractive, what hope do the
no.
rest of us have,
No.
Jamie?
It's not that. It's like, I can't put my finger on it, why it would be different for me. But it's just, if somebody says something transphobic, I'm like, eh.
But if someone says something about
I've got a big nose or whatever, then I take that to heart.
It's the purple broccoli syndrome.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
This is so wild to me.
I feel like, to me, it makes sense that if you're dating a trans person for the first time, there's a learning curve. There's language to learn, there's lessons to learn, there's, you know, that comfortability to find and the normalcy to find, because it is normal, but it's just not something that everybody experiences. However, with attractiveness, I would just always think like, you've not learnt to find me attractive.
Hang on
I
a
would just feel
second.
always insecure about that.
I will push back on that a little bit and say, I do think in the same way that there's a learning curve about dating a trans person for the first time, dating multicultural for the first time, whatever that might be, I do think there's also a learning curve in going for a different type. It's such a trope that the bad boys who are good looking are never good for you because you only go for them because of the way that they look.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm not saying this is right, you know, like, you're a good boy and you're also very attractive.
Oh, thank you.
Good boy.
Can I have my treat now?
But my point is, I do think that there is a learning curve in being like, look, babe, you have always prioritized looks in your relationship, and this has not served you well because you've prioritized the looks of someone or this bad attitude over values and actually making sure this person's compatible with you. I am saying to you, go and date someone right now who you don't typically fancy because they don't have the chiseled abs and the bad boy vibe. Do you see what I'm
I
saying?
don't have chiseled abs.
And go forward. No, I'm just saying in a movie, this is how it would work, right?
Yeah.
Go forward. I'm going to find the ugliest person in the room, pick them out, and you go on a date with them. And you see how that goes. And then this ends up being the big blow up, right? I can see how actually you can learn from that and be like, okay, I got it wrong. Actually, looks don't matter that much. You can actually have a really fantastic relationship with someone who's not so vapid in that sense.
Yes,
Do you see what I'm saying?
I
That
hear
can
you.
also be
I
a learning
think
curve
I
in a
would
relationship.
always just be like looking at my partner being like,
You
wow,
don't
do you
find me
still laugh
attractive.
at my looks?
Do you know what I mean? Like in the steamy
Yeah.
sections of the bedroom, it's going to be in the back of
It
your
would,
mind.
yeah.
Unless they've said, I don't think that now. I didn't give you a chance. I do find you attractive.
Yeah, because all that's been said so far by OP is that she stopped caring about his looks.
Yeah.
That's very different to then finding
I've
his
grown
beauty.
to find you attractive, which
Yeah.
absolutely is a thing and can happen.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think if you'd said that to me, if you were like, you
We
weren't
could
my
grow
normal
from that.
type, I didn't initially find you attractive.
Yeah.
I definitely do now. Fine. But if
Well,
it's...
not fine. It's still a break of trust, and it will take a long time to get over.
No, because there's a
But
difference.
it is get overable.
But it's a neutrality. I didn't initially find you attractive, but it's not like I thought you were hilariously unattractive. It's just like I was neutral to
so
your looks.
harsh.
Like there's a difference. And it's like, it's when you cross that line of neutral to negative. I can accept neutrality. I cannot accept negative.
I feel like I've learned something so new about you, and I'm so intrigued to hear what other people have to think, not about Jamie's attractive levels, about this
No,
post.
about Shaaba's.
No, don't be silly. I feel like we're all saying the same thing though. The
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
badge, not the drama. It's the biggest thing of if you do not like them anymore, if this has changed your perspective of them, don't be in a relationship with them. It's as simple as that. But if you do still love and care for her,
And feel like you could move on from this if she seems to have grown.
yes, my point is don't feel like you should throw a good thing away because somebody in the past had a bad thing that they've grown from. That's it.
You're not obligated to break up with her if
Yeah.
there's evidence that that's not the person she is anymore.
And if you feel that this relationship is good for you.
Yeah.
Right?
I hear you.
Do you agree? I'm so intrigued to hear your thoughts.
I want to hear what other people think.
Is she still friends with all those mean girls?
Oh, and OP's replied saying, given that she was chatting to one of them yesterday, yeah, I think so.
Have they all grown? Are they all still mean girls?
Yeah,
Or
that's
no?
the thing.
I feel like maybe no. I don't know. I need to
And
interview OP and the girlfriend.
and the thing is, was she crying and sad because she'd been caught, or crying and sad because she genuinely felt bad about what she'd done?
because she's like, oh crap, this relationship could be over.
Yeah.
Because she was caught, because she feels like she's losing a good thing, or because she's upset you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or all three.
Damn. Honestly, you are never the asshole for breaking up a relationship,
Yeah.
because if the feelings for you are not there anymore and you don't want to be with that person, there is no point
Mm-hmm.
in continuing. Totally agree. That being said, dating someone as a joke or prank or dare is always an asshole move. Your feelings are valid and you are not the drama.
Yes.
I agree with this. But even though it's always an asshole move, it's not an automatic reason to break up with someone. That's my point.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I hear you.
If the relationship is still good for you and you've grown from that moment, or that person has grown from that moment,
Then,
it's a quirky story.
not the drama. Sounds like the plot to a really shitty rom-com.
It really does.
Unattractive guy meets hot chick at a funeral and hits it off. Falls in love only to find the date was a dare. Hot chick falls for a guy, but the truth comes out. You get to finish the story however you like.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the point. You get to finish the story however you like.
And OP said, I wish it was a shitty rom-com. I wish I could say, haha, fake story for Reddit points, but nope, this is my life and it's shit.
Oh.
I do feel really bad for him.
I do. And it sounds like he's not over it.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, OP. Oh god.
But you are not the drama.
Definitely not the drama.
Well, that one was very interesting. Next.
I feel it's very rare that we have moments in our relationship where I feel we learn something very big about each other, and I feel like I've learned something very big about you today.
What, that I'm more insecure about my looks than being trans?
No, because I always knew about the hate comments, like the fact that a comment about
Yeah.
a big nose offends you more than a trans one.
Right.
But the level to which you feel insecure about the way you look is not something I was aware of at all.
I go through phases of liking how I look.
You are a very attractive being.
Thank you. I'm not
Inside and
saying
out.
it for validation.
I know, but I'm just saying,
I appreciate that.
And I love your nose.
Thank you. I love yours.
Ooh, drama.
Will I be the drama Shaaba if I told my friend not to get tattooed by my artist? I could not imagine doing this.
Could you imagine being ownership of my tattoo artist?
I've recommended my tattoo artist to everybody I know who wants
Shout
a
out
tattoo.
to Nikki Venus, the most incredible tattoo artist. We love her.
Yes, absolutely. Like literally everybody I know who's been like, oh, I want a tattoo, and if I think it works with Nikki's style, I'm like, go to Nikki. She's amazing.
We got 2 friends going this summer.
Yeah, I recommended you.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, all the tattoo artists that you've used, I feel like a tattoo artist would be mad if you're turning business away
Yeah.
on their behalf because they've tattooed you. But maybe there's a context that we don't know about.
Yes.
So let's see. This is also coming from a Peach. Just to let you know, anybody listening to that, I don't know why I shouted Peach. I'm so sorry. A Peach! If you two would like to submit your own drama, you're very welcome to do that over at 1-800-DRAMA on Reddit.
Woo.
Ready?
I am ready.
Opie says, gotta say hi because I know how much Shaaba loves a greeting. Hi, Peach. So
Sorry, I thought they were saying I got to say hi, cuz.
So I, a 30-year-old woman, have been tattooed quite a few times in my life. In the past couple of years, I found an artist who I really love working with because I love her art style and we just get each other's vision. I love that for you. It's actually really hard to do and I'm so glad that you found somebody. Recently, my friend, another 30-year-old woman, has been talking about getting her first tattoo, and when she brings it up, she'll say something along the lines of, I've I've got to reach out to your artist. Every time she does, I try to remind her that it's important to find an artist because you like their style, not just because you know someone who's been tattooed by them.
That's very true.
Yes, I do agree with this.
However, you can both like somebody's style and feel confident in going there because somebody else has been tattooed by them that you know.
And also, you can like someone's style and not want to go with them because they're a dick.
Yes.
That's also happened to me.
Yeah.
2 times that I can think of.
Yeah.
Therefore, I actually really love having a chat with people who have been tattooed by someone, because then I can be like, hang on, and what are they like as a person?
Yeah, because I don't want to be tattooed by a transphobe accidentally.
Yes.
I like knowing...
Who might mess up your tattoo.
I mean, not just that, but I'm like, ooh, your artwork is on my body.
Well, also that, but you know.
Yeah, I get you.
I guess for me though, I was also thinking if someone's going, oh, I've got to reach out to your artist, that's them saying, I do like
their style.
Right, as
Yeah.
well as...
If your tattoos
tattooed
were
by them.
shit, your friend's not going to be like, oh,
Or
let me
even
get a
if they
shit
went,
tattoo.
Shit, like I love Rowley's tattoos. I think
Yeah.
they're incredible. There are definitely some of like the very realistic hyper portrait ones that
Mm-hmm.
he does. I would never go with his tattoo artist. I love the style, but I wouldn't want that on me.
Yeah.
So, you know, like if I was to say I've got to reach out to your artist, that's thinking because I want that on my body.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
you're saying it because you like it.
Yeah.
For you.
For context, says OP, I have some legitimate reasons that I don't think it would be a good fit, and some less legitimate, aka more selfish reasons.
Okay, we have a
What?
self-aware Peach.
I love that. I love that. My legitimate reasons includes obviously the above of finding someone whose style that you like, but also my artist doesn't show clients the design before the day of the appointment, and my friend is a very anxious person. Since it's her first tattoo, I can't imagine her being comfortable not knowing what the design would look like before the day of.
I don't think I've ever been given a design.
In advance.
One time Nikki did. It was for my snake, but it's because like I was a little bit wishy-washy and I was like, I think I want this. This is kind of how I want it to go together, but I can't visualize it. I'd love for you to like draw something up if you're happy to do it. And she was like, cool, I'm just gonna send you it over like the day before
For
to see what
this?
you think.
I knew exactly what I wanted,
Yeah.
and I gave it. For this, I knew exactly what I wanted down to the font.
Yeah.
And I gave it. For this, because it has to be moulded around shoulder, I gave some, like, a pretty good idea, but that was done on the day. So, but I can see for your first one why you'd want to know. For our farfalle, my farfalle, which was my first tattoo, and your pizza slice.
Yeah, on the day.
That wasn't in advance.
No. The snake, and that was only the day before, is the only one I've ever been sent in advance. The butterfly I've got, new artist, it was actually my first like detailed piece. I'm just saying this is really normal to not get the design before the day of the appointment.
It is, and just as a reminder to anybody who might be getting their first tattoos, if you have a stencil on your body, it is your body and that tattoo is going to be there permanently. So whether you're anxious, whether it's your first tattoo or not, you take however long you goddamn well please to make sure that that tattoo is right for you.
Yeah.
And if it's not right, you let the artist know and you ask for the amendments. And if they don't want to do it, you don't get
Yeah.
the tattoo done. It is
Yeah.
that simple. And any tattoo artist that has a problem with that doesn't deserve your business.
No, exactly. And like that's what I found, like they don't send it in advance because they've all booked time in to be like, if you're not happy, we'll redraw it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wish someone had said that to me as clearly as I'm saying it now when
Yeah.
I first started getting my tattoos, because there was definitely some tattoos that I have that I felt quite pressured into that I'm not. Happy with the process
yeah,
of.
same.
Yeah.
I've got one that I wish I didn't.
Mer.
The other bit of advice I'd give here that I feel like OP should be giving to a friend as well is it's not uncommon for tattoo artists to show you on the day.
You're right, it's actually really common.
more important that you like their style
And that they allow you that flexibility to change when you're there.
rather than because you don't want to go with someone where you don't like the artwork just because they're willing to send you the design 2 days in advance. That's not worth it.
Should we keep reading?
Sorry.
No. I feel like you're very passionate
I'm
about
very
this.
passionate.
Now for more selfish reasons. That shop in general is a safe space for me, and especially my artist is someone who I've grown very comfortable with and even become friends with. The same thing happened with my hairstylist, which was great, and then this friend started going to the same place as me to get her hair done, and it started to feel less special since my friendship with the stylist in the shop began to automatically include my friend. I really value having separate friendships in different worlds, and so it's been tough for me to have everything lumped together, and I don't want that to happen with my tattoo shop. Interesting. I'm going to read on. In addition to encouraging seeking out other artists, I've also made comments in a joking tone of like, oh, I've decided to gatekeep my tattoo artist so no one else goes to her, but she continues to bring it up every couple of months. So would I be the drama if I straight up told my friend I didn't want her to go to my tattoo artist? Are you processing?
I'm processing. Okay, how do I feel about this?
I have my badge.
I have my badge as well. Yeah, I have a badge.
3, 2, 1. You are the drama. I'm
It's
so
not
sorry,
massive.
Peach.
It's with love, you are the drama.
Absolutely.
Like, I hear it for me, and like I think I can have a similar insecurity to the one it sounds like you have. Your insecurity over over your friendships should not impact somebody else using a professional service.
You're right that you do have a similar
I do.
insecurity.
Yeah, like I feel like all of my friends that are in separate worlds are going to meet each other and like each other more than they like me and then abandon me. I have a big insecurity over that. So when I see the worlds mixing, I can get a little bit like, oh, but it's not my job. Like I can feel some kind of way, I can speak to a friend about it. And this is like with friendships, this isn't with a professional setting. I would not do this, like no matter how insecure I felt. And I'm pleased that OP can recognize this is coming from a selfish place.
We love a reflective peach.
Your tattoo artist is both your friend and somebody who is offering you a paid professional service. I would be pissed off at my friend who I tattooed if they were gatekeeping me from other clients. Like, that's not what friends do. If I've got a friend who is a tattoo artist and I believe they're good and everything, I'm going to recommend them to everybody. I'm going to be like, go get tattooed by this person. Go, go, go. I think it is not a good friendship move to withhold business from your friend.
You're spicy on this one.
I think it's rude.
Yes, I do agree with this. And you'll probably find that your friendship with your tattoo artist will improve if you bring additional clients. Like,
Yeah.
I know so many tattoo artists and so many friends who have ongoing tattoo artists with specific people who actually, because they've had like long times with them and invited other people, now get their tattoos even cheaper. They'll do deals,
Yeah.
they'll do full days, they'll sometimes hang out, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm trying to say is that friendship that you have, if it is going to be this affected by someone else coming in as a client, which they could be doing with people who are not your friends all of the time, I don't understand how that affects your friendship. Do you know what I mean? Like, if your friendship is
Yeah.
based on that, that's not very much of a friendship at all. It's not one worth having.
What I gathered from this is OP's friend seems to then encroach on OP spending time with their friend. So like OP's like, I want to hang out with my tattoo artist as a friend, but if their friend has been tattooed by them now and it's like, oh, can I join? But it's like, you don't have to mix your worlds like that. That's a problem with your boundary setting with this particular friend. It doesn't mean they shouldn't have access
I
to
hear you.
this tattoo artist.
Wait, so does this mean that this artist hangs out with OP separately?
That's what I read it as, based on the hairdressing one. The hairstylist, which was great, and then this friend started going to the same place as me to get her hair done, and it started to feel less special to me since my friendship with the stylist in the shop began to automatically include my friend.
See, how I
Like-
read that was OP was saying, well, now every time I speak, it's always about this other person as well. You know, there's like joint conversations about all three. Like, for example, you saw Nikki,
Yeah.
and I see Nikki, and when we talk, when I speak with Nikki, it's often about you too. You know, like those conversations come in, and
Right.
vice versa.
Yeah.
So maybe OP doesn't like those elements of the world's mixing, which I think is a very fine thing for you to want to do. But in which case, there's a really easy way to solve that, and that's to be like, go and deal with this person. They deserve the business. Don't say that you know me. Well, like, why does your name have to come into it at all? If you want to keep that separate, you can. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, but I don't think it's necessary.
But it might not feel necessary to you, but maybe it's necessary to OP if that's what they value.
Sure,
as having that as a
it
safe
just
space.
sounds a bit like extreme to be like, yes, you can get tattooed by my artist, but do not speak my name.
Of course, and you wouldn't say it like that, right?
Yeah.
But just maybe not making that introduction would be, you know, like you just say, absolutely, you can reach out to them and then let them do that. And if the tattoo artist brings it up, be like, oh, yeah, they do know me. Anyway, and then moving on. You're right, through your boundary setting, you can maintain that sense of a safe space. There is a world in which I wouldn't think it was okay and where I could justify this happening. Say, for example, your friend was like, I've just got Heartbreaker Studios in my head because that's the place that we go to. It's known for being very LGBT plus friendly.
Yeah.
I couldn't say that very well.
Friendly.
LGBT plus friendly. They got like posters all over the wall. Say you had someone in mind who really loved that tattoo artist, but you knew that they were a raving transphobe. Do you know what I
Why
mean?
are you
Like,
friends with them?
or a massive homophobe, or for whatever reason, he's like, oh, these people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you would not want to suggest that because being associated with that person and them coming in that space might then reflect badly on you.
I do feel like if that were a reason, OP would have said that. It's a legitimate
Yeah.
reason to not be friends
That's what I'm
with
saying.
someone,
That's
let
the
alone...
only reason that I would say that I could see that's legitimate. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I think you need to feel more confident in yourself as a person, OP. Your tattoo artist likes you because you guys have good chat. And why should them get
Yeah.
other business, whether
And-
it be from someone you know or otherwise, affect that?
In this context, it is bizarre to gatekeep. You can't gatekeep people who offer a paid for service like this.
And
That's
you're right.
not
As a
your
friend,
prerogative.
it would be something that they would appreciate that you didn't do that.
I personally don't even think that the first reason given is legit. I don't think that's a legitimate reason to say that your friend shouldn't go to your artist, as in like the not giving the design before, because it's so common among tattooists, but also it's information to give your friend. It's saying like, oh okay, well, this is how my tattooist works. They don't give the design beforehand. This is their style. There are lots of different styles. Go make your mind up. You can give them the information and the advice to say, I don't know how comfortable you're going to be with this specific thing, but it's still not a legitimate reason to try and persuade them away because you don't want to share your tattoo artist.
Though I can definitely see that as being a legitimate reason if it wasn't just the fact that they don't give the designs, but for example, there are some people who are like, I do it this way, and if you don't like it for my art, I don't do amends.
Yeah, I'd absolutely give advice to friends and be like, they're not the best if you want to like change things up last minute.
Yeah, they're very set on their style, and there's so many tattoo artists who do that, and it's totally legitimate to do that, to have a specialty and to not deviate from that. That's like when you go to some restaurants which don't have a menu and you just eat what the chef gives you. You know not to go in that restaurant and be like, could I have some fries please instead? You're gonna be like you're gonna be kicked out, you know.
My friends would know to not recommend that restaurant to me.
Right.
But they wouldn't say you can't go because your anxiety means you don't like it when you don't know what you're eating. They'd be like, just FYI, they
Maybe
don't
you
have a
would prefer
menu.
a place with a menu that you could see in advance.
But if I was like, no, I
But
still want to
ultimately you
go,
wanna
they're
go.
like, sure,
Cool.
and we can go together.
Yes, very that. I will say one other thing as well, and this isn't to downplay you, OP, or to downplay your friendship. It sounds like you guys have a great friendship. I'm so glad that you're happy that you feel this close with your tattoo artist. There have been occasions in our lives, one in particular, where we've grown very close to someone who is a work person. Who we saw as more of a friendship than they did. And it can happen, especially in these environments where you're trying to be really vulnerable. Do you see what I mean? Like tattooing, you're there for a long ass time, babe. Sometimes this took me, 8 hours? We spoke about a lot, and it's a very vulnerable thing to be doing with your skin, etc., etc. It's great that you find comfort in that, but just for your benefit, I would really encourage you to understand in your mind if this is a friendship or a professional friendship, like a service provider who you happen to be friendly with, because a friend and a service provider who is friendly are two very different things. And just so you don't get hurt in the long run, it would be good for you to understand how to maintain those healthy boundaries.
That does make sense, because like I mostly go to Nikki for tattoos, and like if I tot up all the hours, it's a lot. And to me, Nikki is like a primary tattoo artist I go to and spend the most time with when getting tattooed. However, she has hundreds of people that she does that with. So it's like you have to recognize
just so
the context of that relationship. I'm sure if Nikki found out that you were gatekeeping her, she may not be as friendly. And I would totally
understandably,
I would totally expect like a frustration of like, mate, why?
If someone wants to tattoo them, let them come.
At least let them reach out so I can talk with them about their design and see if we're a good fit. I don't think OP are being like malicious or bad.
No.
But I wonder if there's like a little bit of self-exploration over some insecurities with friendships that needs to happen here. And some boundaries set with your friend generally in terms of friendships, like where you don't gatekeep other people from them, but you try and keep things a bit separate. Maybe you do like having, this is my world with these friends and this is my world with these friends.
And that's totally fine. Because even within our friendships, not even our professional friendships, there are some friends that we don't like having together. And that's all right. That doesn't make them any less of a friend.
Sometimes the dynamic doesn't work.
But equally, if those friends decided to be together without you, that's okay.
No,
our friends are all cool people, and we need to realise that that doesn't risk our friendships. And this is something that Jamie is learning from.
I am.
Yay for growth moments.
I felt very mature about that.
You are the drama.
Your friend can make their own decisions about what tattoo artist they like. If they've seen your tattoos and like them, that's valid. Based on your comment with the hairstylist, it seems you're weirdly possessive or gatekeeper of the places you go.
I see where this comment is coming from. Although it's very blunt.
It's quite blunt.
I can see the elements of truth. I don't think it's fair to say
possessive is quite a
weirdly
strong
possessive.
word. Yeah,
because we actually have no idea where that's coming from. I do think gatekeeper is probably a really appropriate term.
And OP used it jokingly, but I think there was seriousness behind that.
Yeah, and that's just something that's good to explore for your benefit, OP, to make sure that your friendships are actually friendships for the right reasons, to make sure that you're not hurt in the future, and just to make sure that you're maintaining healthy boundaries with everybody that you speak with.
I think it depends. If your friend specifically loves the style of your tattoos, then yes, I'd say you would be the drama, especially because it can be hard to find tattoo artists whose style you like and who are able to put their clients at ease. So knowing you get on with your artist might be reassuring to your friend.
Very that.
Especially if she's an anxious person. I've been to people and I've like, I like your style, I like the tattoo I got, but I wouldn't go again because there's people whose style I like just as much and I'm super comfortable with them, which is why I keep going back to the same person.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to find a tattoo artist at the moment. I'm trying to find someone for a colour piece that I want in a really specific
friends are
style.
gatekeeping their artists. Sorry,
But
too
all
soon.
of my friends are white,
Yeah.
and they don't have experience with colour artists. And it's funny because what I'm looking for is specifically for someone to say, hey, I've gone with this person as a person of colour, and I give you that personal recommendation. I don't know if that helps at all, but let your friend in, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay. Oh, I feel like it's been an interesting one. We've explored so many different topics.
We have. I think we had a...
You are the drama from me, but not from you.
Yeah, no drama
You
here.
are the drama on this last one,
And then
not the drama.
not the drama.
Oh, so a variation of badges too.
The drama is so varied as well. Because sometimes when we say people are the drama, they've done a bad thing,
Yeah.
naughty. But then with the last one, about the
I feel
tattoo...
like it's more of a growth moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely something that I could have seen myself doing like several years ago. Thank you so much for listening. If you have been listening over on a podcast platform, please think about giving the podcast a rating. It really helps us out. We truly appreciate it. And if you are if you're watching over on YouTube, think about liking the video and subscribing to see more.
And just a reminder to be kind if you're commenting and helping out our fellow peaches today, whether that be here underneath the comment section of the YouTube video or over on the subreddit.
1-800-DRAMA.
Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you would like to see more, and we'll catch you next time with another episode. Be kind.
Much love.
And have a great day.
Bye.
Wait, I've lost my bean. Wait.
The amount of beans you're losing today, madam,
Oh.
it's a whole can.